Hello everyone, Jennifer Maker here. It's a beautiful day to show you how to take your paper crafts to the next level. So paper crafts are so popular. I can't tell you how many paper crafts I've made over my lifetime. Surely it's thousands by now. And I think one of the reasons behind their popularity is many times the steps can be so simple, yet the end result is so magnificent. Like this layered paper owl. Isn't it just gorgeous? Another reason they're probably so popular is because it's a proven fact that paper crafts help with mindfulness and promote calmness, something we can all use more of, I know. But I especially love this owl because it encompasses several different paper craft techniques that I want to share with you. So let me show you the supplies and tools that we need for an awesome paper craft project just like this. Every good paper craft begins with good quality cardstock, especially when the projects involve intricate cuts like this owl's feathers. I generally recommend 65-pound solid core cardstock, which works really well in a paper craft project like this. Now, solid core means that the paper is dyed throughout, and you can tell if it's solid core when you look at the edge of a stack of paper. If you can see all of the colors in the same shade as they are on the front, and you can see them on the side, this is solid core. Now, if you see white or lighter colors at the edge, like with this pack, that's white core. I recommend solid core for two reasons. One, because colors stay true right to the edges on all of your cuts. And two, white core paper is the cheaper way to make cardstock. And that means it's generally of lower quality. So go with solid core. My favorite solid core cardstock brands are American Crafts, Recollections, Cardstock Warehouse, and Cricut. You won't go wrong with these brands of cardstock. To achieve the layered 3D look and make this project really pop, I used a variety of adhesive materials, including these clear 3D dots, which are really just dots of glue, but so much less messy. I also used double-sided adhesive foam dots, tape, and my favorite craft glue. Using a mixture of all of these helped give this owl the lift it needed to take it from ordinary to extraordinary. Now, cutting out cardstock patterns can be done with scissors, but it's inexact and very slow. A craft knife gives you more control, but you'll spend hours and hours at it. My recommendation for the best and most accurate cuts is a Cricut cutting machine. It'll cut your cardstock exactly the way you tell it to in way less time than you could do it yourself with a pair of scissors or a craft knife. Now, to make this layered owl, I cut my cardstock with a Cricut Maker 3 using a special material setting which I'm going to share with you later. You can also use the original Maker or Explorer series. The Cricut Joy over here does a fine job of cutting paper as well, but its small format means it's only useful when your design is small too. Along with my Cricut, I used a blue LightGrip machine mat, but a green StandardGrip machine mat is fine too. Other tools that I find very useful as a paper crafter include a brayer tool, which I use to adhere the paper to the mat, a scraper tool, which I use to make folds and remove leftover cardstock from my mat, and a spatula to carefully lift tiny bits from the mat without damaging them. I also keep a pair of scissors and a craft knife handy to trim my foam dots or other adhesive and tape that I'm using. So let me show you how to cut and assemble this layered owl while I share my best paper crafting tips with you as we go. First, let me show you where to find this free design. Step 1. Get my free layered paper owl design. First, go to jennifermaker.com/381 and look for libraries in the red bar at the top. And then either click Get a Password if you don't yet have one, or click Enter the library. You can find the design by searching the page for design number 381, and then click it to download a zip file with an SVG file for cutting on a Cricut or another cutting machine, a DXF file, and a printable PDF for cutting by hand. I want to show you how to cut this design really easily on a Cricut cutting machine. First, upload the SVG cut file to Cricut Design Space. If you're unsure how to do this, go to jennifermaker.com/svgs to learn how to unzip and upload SVG files. Here's what my layered paper owl design looks like in Cricut Design Space. Step 2. Prepare your design for cutting. The layered paper owl design is set up to make one owl measuring approximately 11.5 inches wide by 7.75 inches high. You can adjust the sizing if you like. You can enter specific dimensions in the top menu under size. Just remember to keep the lock icon locked to maintain the owl's proportions. Or you can click and drag the resize handle on the lower right side of the bounding box. Remember, you may need larger paper if you want to make the owl larger. For tips on adjusting designs for large cuts, see my cardstock cutouts larger than 12 by 24 inch tutorial at jennifermaker.com/cardstock-cutouts. Since this project is mostly about cutting and assembly techniques, this project is ready to cut. Step 3. Cut your layered paper owl design. Make sure you have the right machine selected and then click Make It. If prompted, click on Mat and then click Continue. You should see 5 mats of different colors on the Prepare screen. Click Continue in the bottom right, and now we'll choose our material. I'm using 5 different colors of cardstock for my owl: black, brown, tan, cream, and an orangish yellow. You can choose whatever colors you like, of course. Just be sure there is enough contrast between them so that you can see your layers. Now, normally I would select medium cardstock, but the owl's feathers include a lot of intricate cuts. Luckily, there's a setting to help us, but it's not usually listed in the default material options. So click Browse All Materials and search for Intricate. Then select the result, Cardstock for Intricate Cuts, and hit Enter. I tested a lot of different cut settings and I found that this one gave me the best results every time. Next, check the box next to Remember Material Settings. This will tell your machine to use this same cut setting for all 5 layers, saving you time. If you run into any issues cutting your cardstock, I've got you covered. Check out my Cricut Tips and Tricks for Cleaner Cuts, a handy guide to ensure you get the cleanest and best cuts, over at jennifermaker.com/cricut-blades. Place your first piece of cardstock on your machine mat and use a brayer to make sure it's fully adhered. Check that your fine point blade is clean and in clamp B, and then load the mat into the machine and press the flashing button to begin cutting. When the cut is finished, unload the mat, flip it over, and roll it back to release the cardstock. This helps prevent the cardstock from curling and ripping. Repeat the same steps for mat 2. Now mats 3 and 4 will take longer to cut because they have the pretty intricate feather details. When each cut is done, unload the mat, flip it over, and gently roll it back to release the feathers from the mat. A spatula may help you gently lift the edges and avoid tearing. Repeat the same step for mat 5. Again, the spatula might help you remove the small talon pieces. Step 4. Assemble your layered paper owl. Here's a look at all the layers and pieces that make up the owl. Before we assemble the owl, I want to share a tip for adding life to a paper design. We'll be working with the wing feathers, so place the bottom 2 layers on your work surface. My bottom layer is the cream-colored cardstock with the owl's body, wings, and tail. The next layer is light brown with the owl's body and wings. Set the other layers aside for now. Now notice that the dashed cut lines that run down the middle of each feather. We'll use a Cricut scraper tool to crease and shape the feathers to give them some dimension. Starting with the bottom layer, hold a cardstock feather in one hand and the scraper tool in the other. Press the scraper along each feather's dashed cut line. Use your fingers to fold the sides up and around the tool. Your feathers will start to look more 3D. I find this very therapeutic and calming. There's just something about shaping each feather, knowing that I'm bringing this beautiful owl to life, one feather at a time, that makes it extra rewarding. This is one of my favorite things about crafting, how it can change your mindset. Repeat these same steps for the next layer's feathers. Once all the feathers have been shaped, it's time to start layering our owl. This is really the fun part. To achieve the 3D look and make this project really pop, I used a variety of adhesive materials, including these clear 3D zots, which are really just thin dots of glue, but so much less messier. I also used double-sided adhesive foam dots, tape, and my favorite craft glue. Using a mixture of all of these helped give this owl the lift it needed to take it from ordinary to extraordinary. You can mix and match these on your own design to achieve your desired look. So first we'll attach the bottom 2 layers, the layers with the feathers. Take the middle layer and place several clear zots on the back. Place them on the body and the wings, but leave the feathers free to move. Now align the layers and press down to adhere them. Next, find the top layer of wings. I used brown cardstock for this one. It doesn't have any feathers, but it has cutout designs along the top. This time I used foam adhesive dots. I wanted to give this piece some extra lift. Be careful to avoid the cutout areas on the wings. Remove the backing from the foam dots and add this layer to the design. It's a good idea to place it down gently at first, so if the alignment is a little off, you can make some adjustments before pressing it firmly in place. Next, locate the 8 similar looking pieces that are left unattached. They have scalloped edges to mimic the fluffy, feathery body of an owl. You'll be layering these on top of one another to create the smaller body feathers on the front. Start with the largest body piece, which will glue to the top body layer. I used Barely Art Precision Craft Glue for this part. Add glue to the back of the largest body piece. This craft glue comes with a super precise tip that adds a very thin line of glue exactly where you want it. Align this piece and the layered body pieces at the bottom edge. Then move it down just a bit so the feathers totally cover the plain body and press it into place. Then add glue to the back of the next largest piece. Line up its top edge with that of the previous layer and press it into place. Continue gluing the pieces in order by decreasing size until all 8 body feather layers are attached like this. The owl is really starting to come together. Next, we'll add the eyes. Grab the 2 black circles and the 2 crescent-shaped orangish yellow pieces. Glue a crescent-shaped piece on top of one of the circles, positioning it so there's an equal amount of the circle below showing around the edges of it. You'll only need a tiny amount of glue for this. Do the same thing with the remaining crescent and circle. Next, glue both eyes to the face layer, lining up the top curves and leaving an equal amount of the face showing around the bottom and sides of each eye. Make sure the crescents mirror each other so the owl feels like it's looking forward in one direction. And here's a tip. We're going to add the face layer so that it overlaps the top body feathers and the owl's head. But since these layers are not level, we'll use double-sided adhesive tape to fill the depth as needed. Turn the face layer over and put a double layer of adhesive tape at the top like this. Now add a bit of glue at the bottom of each side. Turn the face and eyes over and place it just above the top body feathers. You can move it down, but make sure the glue touches the top layer of body feathers and the adhesive tape sticks to the owl's head. Once the tape is aligned, press down to adhere it. The last step is to attach the owlish details. That means the tufts, the 2 eyebrow-looking pieces, its beak, and talons. First, take the smaller tuft piece. I use brown cardstock for this one. With your craft knife or scissors, cut an adhesive foam dot or tape in half so it's very small but still sticky on both sides. Attach one half to the back of the left and right sides where they arch up a bit. You'll need to make the strips fairly small so they don't show once the piece is in place. Align the Tufts top edge with the top of the face layer and eyes so they overlap. Press the tuft in place. You may want to add a bit of glue or even a smaller piece of sticky foam under the tuft's bottom point to keep it in place. Next, take the second, larger tuft piece. I used tan cardstock for this one, which will adhere to the owl's head, higher than the previous tuft. Again, we'll use the stacked adhesive foam tape to make up the difference in depth. Flip it over and position this piece directly above the other tuft, with its bottom point slightly overlapping the tuft in place. Press down to adhere. You may need to add a small dab of glue to adhere the low point that sits on top of the smaller tuft. Next, attach another small piece of foam tape to the back of the beak. Position the beak in the center of the face between the eyes and press down to adhere. And then grab your owl's talons and place them on the owl to make sure they're on the correct sides. When in place, the talon tops will closely line up with the bottom wing feathers. Flip them over and add 2 small strips of foam tape to each foot. And then position each talon and attach them to the body feathers. Didn't this paper owl turn out just so amazing? I just love how the creased paper, foam dots, tape, and clear 3D dots take this design to new heights. You can use these materials to add lift to any layered paper craft project, much like the ones that you see around me here. And many of you ask me how to display your finished paper crafts. I think one of the best ways is to use shadow boxes, which are particularly deep frames. Not only does this show off your beautiful creation, but it keeps it free of dust, preserving it for generations to come. If you make this owl and want to frame it, I recommend using a shadow box that is at least 15 inches wide by 12 inches high, like this one here. You'll just need to apply some glue or foam adhesives strips to the back in order to attach it to the back of your shadow box. This owl would be a beautiful addition to an office, a classroom, a nursery, or even a fun decor for a party. I think it's amazing. I love owls. Now, if you have any questions about my layered paper owl design or any questions about layering cardstock, making shadow boxes, or paper crafts in general that I didn't answer here, I am more than happy to help you out. Just leave your question below this video or ask over in our awesome Cricut Crafters group at jennifermaker.com/CricutCrafters. I love to see your photos and your projects, so I hope you'll share them with me. And that's it for today. Until next time, this is Jennifer Maker reminding you to craft a life you love.